Hello, great people. Welcome back to our channel. We're so excited to have you again. The states, virtually all the states in the southern part of Nigeria, apart from, few others like 7, but other states have already gone ahead with the passing of the bill. That's open grazing bill, anti-open grazing bill, that they don't want to see cows littered in their streets again. Now, the Miyetti Alakota Hall have also taken a step towards taking the state governors to court. And I'm just watching and I'm just thinking the reason behind that. And one of the issues that they raised was that, they have trampled on their fundamental human right of movement. And shockingly, you're going to hear some of the reactions of, the federal government and what the state police the police, the Nigerian police force, what their intentions are, knowing that they are not just there to protect life and property, but they are also law enforcement. We're going to be looking at the reactions of the different police command in different states, and also what the federal government have to say about the move of Miyetti Alakota Hall to court to sue the state governors. But before we give you full details of these and other analysis, we'd like to encourage you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you get notification anytime we publish our videos. The federal government on Sunday threw its weight behind moves by headers to sue southern governors over the anti-open grazing bill they recently signed into law. The special assistant on media to the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Dr. Umar Gwando, who disclosed these in an interview with us, said Nigerians whose right has been violated could go to court to seek protection. Gwando stated these as State Police Command on Sunday differ on the enforcement of the law, while Ebonyi and Osun State Police Command to disclose that they would enforce the law. A source in the Lagos State Police Command stated that the police would only provide protection to the enforcement team of the state. The Rivers State Police Commissioner Friday Buka, on his part, said he had not seen a copy of the state anti-open grazing law, but a top police officer disclosed that it would be difficult for the state command to enforce the law without the support of force headquarters. Most southern states, including Lagos, Ondo, Oyo, Osun, Ekiti, Abia, Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Enugu, and just recently Delta on Osun State, signed the anti-open grazing bill into law. The Miyetti Alakota Hall group, while reacting to the passage of the law in the southern states, described it as satanic and politically motivated, adding that it would sue the governors over the law. The National Secretary of the Miyetti Alakota Hall group, Sela Al-Hassan, threatened that the group would sue the southern governors. Gwando, in an interview with one of our correspondents, stated that the rights trample upon our individual rights of Nigerians as constitutionally guaranteed. The Nigerians whose rights are violated reserve the right to approach the court for the protection of such right within the context of freedom of movement, among others. It will be viewed with that consideration in mind. In Ebonyi State, the State Police Command says it will arrest and prosecute violators of the anti-open grazing law in the state. The Commissioner of Police in the state, Aliyu Gabar, stated this in a telephone interview with one of us in Abakaliki. When asked if the police will enforce the law, Gabar asked, "Why not? We will arrest and prosecute offenders. Come with a complaint and see whether it is not going to be attended to." Also, the Ogun State Police Command said it was ready to implement the anti-open grazing law in the state as soon as possible. The Police Public Relations Officer in the state, DSP Abimbola Oyeyemi, said this in a chat in Abeokuta. When asked when the police would begin the implementation, Oyeyemi said, "We will begin as soon as possible." A popular vigilante group in Rivers State, also Diobu Security Service, also said it will enforce the law. The chairman of Diobu Vigilante, Prince Amatari, who said during an interview with one of our correspondents, said the group will enforce the law better than the police because of its presence in the rural area. We have said that the security architecture should be decentralized because the responsibility of the police is much, and the police have not been able to effectively carry out their duties because the entire nation relies on them. If arrests are made by other security agencies, including the army, they take such persons to the police. When contacted, the State Commissioner of Police Friday Booker said they, that's the state government, have not passed the law to us. I have not seen it. Asked if the command was ready to enforce anti-open grazing law in the state, Osun Police Command said as law enforcers, it was a duty bound to enforce any law made by the government. The spokesperson for the command, Yemisi Apupolola, said police in the state will enforce any law made. She said, we are law enforcers. Our duty is to enforce the law made by the government. We will enforce any law made by the government in the state. Reacting to the readiness of the police command in enforcing the anti-open grazing law in Lagos State, a police source said the responsibility of the police was to provide security for the enforcement team established by the state government to ensure the law, to enforce the law. There is an enforcement team to be established by the state government to enforce the law, and when the enforcement team is established, the police will provide security during enforcement. The enforcement team is going to be trained and empowered by the state government, and a place like a ranch will also be established to keep the cows until the fines are being paid. But the job of the police is to give protection to the enforcement team during enforcement of the law in the state. The enforcement team has not been established. It is when the team is established that enforcement will be in full swing. But in Ondo State, the Ondo State Command of the Security Network Agency, also known as Motikun, stated that enforcement of the state anti-open grazing law has commenced as soon as herders and cows have been seen, as some herders and cows have been arrested and dealt with according to the law. The state commander of the Corps, Chief Adetunji Adeleye, said the number of cows and herders have been arrested and they were made to pay fine and sign an undertaking not to violate the law again. Wow. Now, very interesting news here, considering the fact that the federal government have given their support to, herders to go ahead with swing, these people. But I feel that when these cases like this are brought before the law court, the ideal thing will be done. Now, first of all, if you are privileged to seeing the what do they call it? The anti-open grazing law. One of the things that is most notable there is that there are no restrictions for cows to enter into any of the states. But as you are bringing in your cow, you are meant to abide by the rules of the state. In other words, movement to any state is permitted. But on your arrival in the state, you are being told to keep your cows in a confinement. And then other provisions they are provided. For example, get registered with the Ministry of Agriculture, and they'll give you a particular document that empowers you to establish a ranch and do your business. In event of having to sell your cow, it is you enter into the transaction with your customers, and the cow is transported in a car down to wherever you want it to be, not to litter it on the road. So I'm just wondering, even if the federal government will support them in their court case, which is, for me, what I heard, there was not really support, but they are only trying to paint a picture of what the Constitution provides. Now, going ahead with going to court, as said by the Secretary of Miyetti Kutaho, talking about Al-Hassan, going to court would not change the position of the state government. The best thing is for you to align. Look at, for example, in Ondo State, they have already Miyetti there in Ondo State, based on the good relationship that have been existing between them and the resident. They are ready to abide by the law and to do everything that the state government wants them to do. It's really shocking to see people, never ready to leave the 17th, the 16th, and the 15th century, to a new way of life. One of the greatest things about education, let me put it that way, is your ability to learn, to unlearn some of the things that you have learned when it is no more useful, and you relearn the new way. And I think one of the things that the federal government needs to do for mostly the Fulani haters is to ensure that they send their children to school so that their horizon can be open and they will understand that there is always a time to live a particular standard of life to a better standard of life. I think what is happening in Fulani, happening among the haters, is lack of education. You understand? Look at today, the population explosion in Nigeria. There is no way you can have this level of population and you still do things the way you want to do. Why is it that the president is not using bicycle? Why is it that the ministers are not using horses? But hey, they know that times have changed, and for that reason, they have to change the way they do things, whether technologically or otherwise. The means of transportation has totally changed. No more horses again, no more bicycles again. People are now in trains. People are also using expensive cars. Some are flying in jets, some in helicopters, just to show you that we are moving according to the time of life. You don't have to still stay back. I think these are some of the things that the federal government should do to enable these people to migrate in terms of their mind to where Nigeria is going. I like to leave it there.